All right. Guys, what? We are live. How you guys doing? We are coming in. Oh, I see what you mean with the Orange Cassidy thing. We're coming in without a producer today, so we're sort of freeballing it. We brought in a child replacement for Clump. He makes less messes. He's easier to deal with.
Easier on the eyes.
Guys, you're not wrong, but I mean.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, God
Siri
damn it.
didn't ask for your input.
I was gonna see if I could put up an emoji of Clump because he's a disembodied voice, but I think that's gonna be a little more difficult than I would have liked. Let's see. So today we are gonna go over Stomping Ground predictions. This is a bonus show. This isn't our weekly huge, as it were. So we're gonna go through the Stomping Ground card. It's not a huge one today, but we're gonna say what we want, what we think's gonna happen. And because it's a little bit of a morning show, we think it's a bit early for whiskey for the kid, so we decided to bring in beers for us.
And the kid.
And the kid. Did you want to talk about what we're about to have?
Yes. We're going to indulge ourselves in a El Segundo Brewing Company Broken Skull IPA, Stone Cold Edition.
That's the Stone Cold Brew.
I don't know how much input he had with it.
I had a lot.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, my understanding is he had a lot of input on this product. It's the only one, right? Like, he didn't come up with a secondary flavor or anything like that. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I was hoping I had this little memoji ready to go I could just bring over, but it's going to be too much work. I'll do this. But you want to go ahead and open those up?
Yeah, with the new Spinneroonie.
Yep, we did an unboxing for Pro Wrestling Crate just a minute ago. For those who missed it, which would be everybody missed it, because we haven't posted it yet. So feel free to, here we go, to check us out on YouTube a little later on to check out what it is that came in. But it was ultimately, it was the King's edition. And he ended up with a Spinneroonie bottle opener for Booker T. It's a bottle opener fidget spinner, so multifunctional. First multifunctional
Spidget finner.
Spidget finner.
Spidget finner.
And we gotta drink more. We can't talk without drinks.
Yeah.
We are so bad at this without booze. Oh, that was quick. It's good to go.
I feel like it should be like the wild card. Every time I spin it, I feel like I should hear wah 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 wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah 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 wah.
Let's see, and then on top of that, one other thing. Sorry, like I said, without a producer, I'm doing too much. But we do have, as you can hear by the slurping and sounds of murdering rats over the other mic here, we have coming in via satellite the one and only Clump. What'd you just spill on yourself, pal?
I spilled nothing, champ.
There's no fucking way. I heard that.
That was my phone being dragged across the desk by the charger cable that moved.
Ah, you spilled your charger cable.
I spilled my charger cable.
Get the paper towels.
Oh no, there's electronics everywhere.
Yeah, we actually tried to see if he would drink some of your non-alcoholic drinks, the little guy here, and he wasn't having it. He said it was effing disgusting. He said he doesn't know what's wrong with you. We agreed entirely.
We had to clean up the language a little bit, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you get the gist of it.
Here we go.
I mean, not drinking life is kind of not. You realize not a lot of things taste great without alcohol. Really, water is awesome.
There he patting his head.
Rub it for good luck.
There we go. I'll just Over this way. Little Rubskadooski.
I don't know which way.
Little Rubski.
Is it left or right?
Am I on the thing? Let's go into the stream.
Yeah, check it out, dude. You're live.
Should hold up a stick. It'll be
Oh,
clump on a
that's
stick.
upsetting.
Look at there he is. So we're all here, man. The gang's all here. How good? How lucky? Let's see what we can do for the kids at home.
Cheers.
Cheers.
He's drinking out of a Bailey glass. I got my Ultimate Warrior mug.
We both have our favorites.
Closest thing next to me is a bottle of Windex. So.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Way hoppier than I anticipated.
It's an IPA.
It feels like a more traditional IPA. A lot of IPAs have been really kind of smoothing out. This
Watered
feels-
down a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. This
Very
feels,
crisp.
yeah, absolutely. Not bitter.
Yeah. It's good.
Very
I
good.
like it.
How's the Windex taste, Clump?
Blue. Very blue.
Gross, dude. That's disgusting.
Is that how you judge your favorite flavors of things? What's your favorite icy? The blue one.
How blue?
I know colors only.
Whoa, dude, easy.
Oh,
You can't
Jesus.
say that shit.
Wow.
So now I realize I'm kind of out of technology, so I don't know where to put the card. I've got like a bunch of stuff, and I don't have the card out, like the match card.
Oh.
I got it.
What? You have the card?
Yeah.
Are you looking at it?
I don't have the times and the order of it, but I have the matches.
All right. Well, let's start with that. We'll just
Guess
have.
where they would go.
Do you have a guess of which one you think is gonna go?
Okay, I'm pretty damn sure Cruiserweight Championship match is going to be first.
That's probably a fair bet.
I don't know. They've been putting it on the main show lately.
Yeah, they have.
But we can go with that. Just let's go.
Yeah.
Jump in.
What else would they put there? There's a SmackDown title match, right? I could see them doing that. The SmackDown tag title.
Yeah.
I could see that being pretty kick-off.
Yeah.
Got Heavy Machinery against Daniel Bryan or Rowan. There's no heat on that match.
Yeah, and I wish it had heat because I think it'd be a cool, fun match.
It can be, but I could also see where it doesn't go that way just because of everyone involved not being as happy with it. But I don't know. I'd like to think that they all put their all in there every time, whether they're happy with it or not, though.
Yeah.
Real quick, did we introduce the kid?
Oh shit! There's a kid. How'd you get in?
Through the fireplace.
I never closed that
Not
chute.
allowed- Aren't kids not allowed within 300 yards of your house?
They moved out.
Okay.
Good thing his house is on wheels.
Yeah. As long as I keep moving.
Oh.
Anyways, this is Dondo.
The Dondo.
My name's Seth. My nickname is Dondo.
You're dumb. This is Dondo, only Dondo. He goes by Dondo. I am at Ref Marsh on Twitter, at MarshRef on Instagram. This is Kevlar. He's just at here drinking.
Yeah.
The disembodied voice of Clump.
Hello.
I bet you I can give this Clump a wet willy. Let me see.
I feel that. I feel it.
Too deep. Too deep.
Ow, 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 ow.
What are you doing to me?
But dude, let's do it. Let's get into it. So, all right. So you suspect? I mean, we'll break it down a little bit later. You believe the first match is going to be cruiserweight match?
Yeah, that or SmackDown Tag Team Championship would be first.
Who's the champion? Nice still?
Yep.
The Nessie.
Yep.
And it's a triple threat. Is that right?
Versus Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa, who I did not know was in the WWE anymore.
No, you're thinking
No,
of
you're-
Kenta left.
Not Kenta.
Kenta. That's what he goes by on Japan now. Hideo Itami.
Tommy. Yeah.
I could have sworn they all left. Like all of the Asians left. Like in a mass exodus.
God damn it, man. Jesus. AEW puts on one Joshi match and you just think they're all
All of the
running.
Asians are gone from WWE now.
They're all there.
Yeah, they're all there.
Actually, no. I remember when Hideo left, some people were talking about what that meant for Tozawa and if he was going to leave because they were friends and they were close and all that. And ultimately, I didn't see anything about him having a desire. But I don't know. I don't believe most of those things, anyways, about whether they have a desire to leave or not. So we got Nisi versus Gulak versus Tozawa. Well, I don't know. Let's start with Dondo on this one. What do you think, Dondo?
I don't honestly know. This is kind of hard.
This is a tough one. You have no idea who these three people are, do you?
I don't know.
I barely know what they look like.
I'm not very big on cruiserweight and
They're not
205 Live. I'm actually better with the Raw and SmackDown.
Okay, so you're going to be picky and choosy
Yeah.
about when you're going to put in your voice. I got it. Well, Klump is our AEW rep, so I get that too. He doesn't seem to know much except when it comes to that.
And even then.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that's what I meant earlier when I told you I was going to be mean and please don't cry on the air. I have to tell Klump that same thing every day.
Please don't cry.
Please don't cry,
We're
Klump.
going
I'm just
live right now.
just joking. I don't mean it. Just don't.
I can't get my bandages wet, guys. That's all I want to say.
I think Nice is gonna hold it, looking at it, but Gulak, my understanding, Gulak's been getting a major push
Really?
over there. But
What is the major push in 205 Live?
being in the
What's the
championship
crazy?
picture consistently,
Okay.
that's my understanding is that he's been getting a lot more TV time, and they've been pushing that narrative that he's a cruiserweight champion type.
Fair.
Marion made it back. Marion says that he's sad because Royce and Spears are still together. I saw that too, and I thought of you when I saw that. And I was like, oh, dude, that dude's gonna be pissed. Yeah, they seem to be happy. Which, whatever. We are just breaking down Stomping Ground today and going over the predictions. I'm gonna say. There we go. I'm gonna say Nice. I think they're gonna leave it on Nice.
Excuse me. I think the same. I think it's going to go Nice. They don't throw the title back and forth. I wouldn't mind Tozawa getting it. He's been around a while. And
I think he's really good.
Hmm?
But I don't know if. I guess I don't watch enough 205 to know how well you gotta be at what or how good he is at what. I just know that the match I've seen with him, he's been awesome, and we saw him at Rumble. And that
was a great match.
Incredible. I just feel again they usually seem to leave the cruiserweight titles on people for quite some time, and so I just feel like without a big next, I don't see them passing it around a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it seems like with the 205, they've been leaving it on the big guys.
Exactly.
And I think it might even be putting it on the big guys so that there's a bigger transition or an easier transition to get to the main roster.
There are no big guys. By the nature of this being 205, literally, they're very tiny people.
Nah, Buddy Murphy was big, and now he's on SmackDown Live. Look how good he's doing ever since the shakeup.
Right? He's champion, right?
Who do you think's gonna win this one, Klump?
I'm gonna go Drew Gulak. Honestly, the name sounds the coolest.
I think I would say the same thing, just because the name sounds the
I've not
coolest.
seen too much of it. Tony Nese looked really good in the last match I saw, but I'm gonna go with Drew Gulak. Ooh, my producer brought me coffee.
Hello. I'm actually gonna say Tozawa is my official pick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm going for it.
Tozawa.
Did you put an E in that?
Dude, I put every vowel in there, just hoping I'd hit one.
@ sign.
Yeah.
The way you pronounce it, Toezawa.
Let's see. Every time
So,
I go with
Tozawa.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Something else.
Dondo?
I just said Gulak because he has a cool name as well.
Yeah, he agrees with Klump's narrative there.
Uh-oh.
It's actually why I picked the Raptors to win. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
they did.
And they did
So
it.
sometimes just because the name is cool is enough to make you a champion.
I thought it was because they were from Canada.
See, that was a benefit. I thought, here's a Canadian dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been to Canada enough to know if there aren't dinosaurs there.
Hey.
Have you learned about where dinosaurs live now?
In Toronto, obviously.
Toronto. That's where they live now. Let's see. Marion thinks it's going to be Drew, and he thinks that everyone's got a little something to prove. I do think there's going to be a chip on your shoulder pay-per-view. I do feel like it's going to be a sleeper pay-per-view. Everyone's going to shit on. Everyone's doing all they can to shit on it now, but you look at the card and the complaint being that, oh, these are rematches. We might find out that that's a benefit when you have people that comfortable.
Similar with each other and harder hits, bumps, all that good stuff.
I agree. I think there's a good chance of that. So after that, we think SmackDown Live tag titles.
Oh
yeah. Let's see. So this one's going to be Daniel Bryan and
Rowan
versus Heavy Machinery.
This is I think, a clear no-brainer. It's got to be DB and Rowan.
That's what you think?
Yeah.
I thought no-brainer, but Heavy Machinery.
That's what I thought. I was thinking they're obviously trying to get these tag titles off of Daniel Bryan and Rowan and move Heavy Machinery into the SmackDown title picture just because the tag teams on SmackDown aren't doing anything, and you have two singles competitors, and you have like the Shawn and Diesel thing going on. Do they really need to be going through the tag division right now?
See, I think it's a no-brainer because I think that they want it on, they want a relevant champ in Daniel Bryan, not so much Rowan. And, I just don't think it's Heavy Machinery's time.
Otis is a national treasure.
Otis is pretty cool. Who else is on the SmackDown tag title picture? Who are the other SmackDown tag teams?
I don't even know who tag teams are because of the shakeup and wild card rather.
Yeah, like that's an honest question. I am drawing a blank on who the tag teams are on that roster because everyone I'm thinking of I know is Raw.
Club?
Google it.
They're on
Club's on Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like looking like SmackDown.
They used to have the best division and then they switched everyone.
Oh, Marion says we got AOP and B Team. I thought B Team was Raw though. Are they there? Maybe they're there.
Yeah.
And said Rusev and Shinsuke.
They're a team? They're actually there.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know that.
Whenever they get told that.
What was that?
Whenever they get mentioned being together, Rusev and Shinsuke both say we're a team.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's because of that they need it on a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like. I think with Daniel Bryan and I think you have more places to go with Daniel Bryan and Rowan outside of the tag division than you do with Heavy Machinery within it. Heavy Machinery is like your only real tag team. What are their hopes and dreams if this is their only other team in opposition?
Yeah.
I mean,
the last tag title match was against a Raw tag team.
Yeah.
At least Heavy Machinery can go back and forth, and it won't be such a burden on them. I mean, Daniel Bryan's going back and forth to do singles and tags. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess really you look at it, and where does the tag titles go from here when you've done this to the tag divisions either way?
What do you think?
I think it's actually gonna be Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, because usually sometimes the people are trying to go after the title, try a little too hard and get too tired, while as the other team has more energy than them and always ends up getting the win.
So you're saying Heavy Machinery's fat and can't?
No.
Daniel Bryan will just run around for 20 minutes?
You're saying Heavy Machinery's got too much pressure on them to get this title win where Daniel Bryan and Rowan can kick back and relax.
They are actually saying, like, we're going to take that from you, which they're probably going to try a little too hard to do it, which will make them get, like, 10 times more tired. Which, as the other point, Daniel Bryan and Rowan will have more energy and be able to just take them down while they're tired. And although they're both pretty clever, so I guess I got to say that, too.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's hard to argue with, I'll be honest with you. Marion thinks that Apollo and Chad might be turning into a tag team. Maybe.
American Alpha 3?
Yeah, finally. And I think it's going to be Heavy Machinery. I just think that, but at the same point, I think this: if it goes to Heavy Machinery, there's a really good chance that the SmackDown tag titles become like the women's tag titles. And I think honestly, the only reason I think Heavy Machinery is just because I think they are getting to a point where they want it on
A legit tag team.
a tag team.
Yeah, I can see that. Next up, Clump.
What do we got next on there, Clump? I'm thinking. Oh wait, there's the New Day versus KO and Sammy, right?
Yeah, there's also evidently so I'm reading, they're saying there could be a Raw tag team match.
Revival against who?
Usos. But I actually really don't want to see that. Like I do, they're fantastic, both teams, but we've seen it so much. I don't want this to get old.
Yeah, and I feel like the build has been there, but not on this round. I would say I'd like it to be a little bit more.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's true.
New Day, Owens and Sammy.
That's true. Do you think this is one that'll be on the kickoff?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
They
either.
built this up for a lot. They built this up a lot for a tag match. I mean, arguably they've built this up more than their other tag team matches, like in the divisions. I think this would be a good match. I think this could also introduce Owens and Zayn as a tag team.
Oh.
And then
well.
the New Day is still in the SmackDown division, technically.
Yeah. But I guess in that respect, if you have New Day and Sammy and KO as potential tag teams, you would need a Daniel Bryan and Rowan to be going up against them. You wouldn't want a Heavy Machinery.
I don't know.
The
I can
thing
see
is,
it either way.
Sammy and KO are on different brands.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, fucking shit, yeah.
Killed it.
A normal
use
Clump
the
wild
fidget
card.
Yeah. I will say I think Sammy and KO is going to win it because I think they want to put the seed of doubt on the Kofi match.
Yeah.
And I think that if they have New Day win, then it becomes like a New Day clean sweep. I think there'll be a little less behind, unless they surprise you with a Dolph win, which I don't think. So I think they're gonna have New Day lose this one to kind of get in Kofi's head and how's Kofi feeling, and Sammy and KO can really just beat the snot out of Big E and Xavier, and Kofi can even come out or something, and you know what I mean. Like, but to like get, I think they're gonna utilize this to get in the way of the championship match some way.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, Colin, who do you think's gonna win this one?
I'm going to go with KO and Sammy. I think it's good for that seed of doubt idea. I think they need wins. I really think they need wins because Sammy's not been in the ring and KO's been booked strong but not winning. And while
Both of them.
I think we've said at various points that both of these guys could do okay without winning, I think they need it. I think they look better, stronger, but with occasional wins, because if they just start losing at some point, when isn't it? Like, when aren't they that good?
No, I agree. I think that I think Sammy and KO have both been booked really strong, but have been getting a lot of losses, and I think that they would look strong and look good in one of these. And I just realized like how much this is reflecting at the camera. Maybe that's why our focus has been off. Trying to get the camera to focus. Either way,
I think the same. I think KO and Sammy have to win it. They're on a losing streak, and you need them to look strong as legitimate heels.
yeah, they gotta look good, and they haven't been getting the job quite done yet. What about Dondo? What do you think?
I agree with you guys. I think they actually just need a win at least.
Yeah.
It's because you're a big Sammy fan.
Dude, Sammy! Oh, oh.
No?
Ba, ba,
And Marion, I agree. I think the brand split's coming to an end. They've kind of been making a gray area for a while now, and
Yeah.
it just, it's going to go back to the way it was, and I think it's going to suck because then you're going to see the same people, basically what you see now. You're going to see Roman on every show. You're going to see, the AJs, the Kofis, the Daniel Bryans on every show, and the mid-card's just going to get buried.
Yeah, I think that they definitely are getting towards a point where they'll get rid of the brand split. But I think the confusing part comes in is how do you start unifying some of these titles unless you just legit just have like a Clash of the Champions night in which we're unifying all the titles. Champ versus champ, and only one champ comes out. Marion suspects SummerSlam they'll do that. I could see that. I think it's a little early for it just because they've just been the littlest, tiniest little things. But at the same time, sometimes they rush these storylines so fast. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Vince segment where it's all like, guess what?
Well, I think Survivor Series would be perfect for that.
I think Survivor Series.
It's already, the framework's already there, and if they sit there and say, hey, winner takes, unifies them, cool.
Yeah, plus that happens typically in November, and Fox starts in October. So I could see them utilizing Survivor Series for that. We're gonna have a tournament down to determine not only the best brand, but the thriving champions.
Do you think they'll keep the IC and US separate?
Yes.
Yeah, but
I think they would have to.
They will merge everything else.
Yeah.
Let's see. I do disagree with Marion in that you feel bad for Kevin for not being a world champion yet. I don't, because he's getting that same main event style push. He's got a lot of TV time. He's held a lot of championships before. He's not in a bad spot. That's a guy you don't need to worry about. Like Miz. These are guys who get TV time every single week, and it's like they're not being used through. They just don't have the one championship you want them to have. They're getting everything else. They're getting the pay. They're getting the TV. They're getting the T-shirts. Like, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine, and they're in a good spot.
I agree as well. I think that KO and Miz at some point will have long reigns or good reigns with the big belts, but they don't need it now, and they're fine really without it. They are really good as...
Look where they're at.
Yeah, exactly.
And KO had the long Universal title, but I would say that I don't believe Hunter's bought out the whole Indies because I feel like the Indies right now are stronger than they've ever been. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the negotiating chips on the table that they have. You know what I mean? As talent right now, the Indies are super big. I mean, look at Joey Ryan. He was just offered deals by both WWE and AEW and decided that he could make maybe not as much, but more than he's even making now just by staying on the Indies in a proven track record of proven revenue. Whereas in WWE and AEW, both said he'd have to change his gimmick up. He wouldn't be able to be dick swinging people. And so he said that ultimately, if he can continue being the gimmick that's gotten him over on the Indies, he'll make as much money as he would signing with the, what do they call it, the guaranteed?
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people, they have a gimmick that gets them somewhere, and then they have to change it, and then they kind of get lost in translation a lot of times.
Yeah, 100%. And I do agree with that entirely on his respect. I think he did the right thing for him. And I didn't see how either one of those companies were going to be able to let him do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that everyone was convinced that AEW was going to let him do all that stuff. And I was like, not on TNT or not.
Yeah.
Then maybe on YouTube, but...
Here, hold my dick, watch this.
Yeah. What match do you suspect to be after that one, Clump?
So the next options we have are Raw Women's Title, SmackDown's Women's Title, U.S. Championship, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, or Universal Championship. I noticed that the Intercontinental title is not on this.
Yeah, we don't have one anymore.
Yeah. Finn Balor took it back to Ireland, never to be seen again.
He's still in Saudi. I think it'd be the U.S. title match next. I don't think they'll put Roman before that.
Yeah.
I think Roman and Drew's going to go after the
I
U.S.
could see
title
them
match.
putting the Raw Women's Championship before that.
Before the U.S. title?
Mm.
You think Becky and Lacey has that little heat?
Yeah.
I don't know if they would put back-to-back women's titles matches.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see this next, or see Universal or U.S. title next, then one of the women's matches, then for some goddamn reason Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, but really it should be lower in the card. Then big title, like SmackDown men's title, maybe SmackDown women's title, Universal title, and then Raw
Shane.
women's title.
What about Shane and Miz? Never mind.
Wait, that's happening again?
No,
Wait, what?
it's not.
Is Shane in a match?
No, I was thinking of the cage match because that
Yeah.
has to end it. I would think with Kofi, but that's Kofi and Dolph.
That's Kofi and Dolph.
Yeah.
I thought Roman and Drew
Drew
was
were
the Shane
extension
match.
yeah.
He'll be there.
Yeah.
I think the last match actually is going to be the Universal.
I think the last match is going to be Universal as well.
I think the WWE title would be better last match. I'll be honest. We talk about it every week. I really don't care about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins as the Universal title holder.
Yeah, I agree. It's not going to be the best match. It will just go on last. Kofi and Dolph are going to be way better as a match, but it will go on before Universal.
We hope.
Yeah.
We hope that they're better.
I think they're going to do it this time,
Yeah,
man.
I do too, actually.
I think because, like Marion was bringing up earlier, I think because of the amount of people shitting on this match or on this card, the idea that Dolph and Ziggler has seemed a little bit quick to get to the show. I think that we know what Kofi and Dolph are capable of, and I don't think they've gotten to it. I think they're waiting.
Yeah.
I think they're waiting for the moment to be like, okay, now let's go out there and put on that fucking Meltzer match. Let's see. I think it would be. I think the U.S. title would be next.
All right, U.S. title it is. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna say U.S. title. Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
What's his name? Joe.
Samoa Joe versus Ricochet.
Samoa Joe versus Ricochet.
Chet.
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Ricochet, the Irish Wonder.
I don't know who Scarlett is, Marion.
That's that porn star boudoir indie girl. I don't think she's good enough to be on any of these shows, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
She's got some skill, like she can do some moves, but her gimmick is so heavily involved in her looks, and I think she's really relying on that. I've not seen her put on any matches that I think, oh my god, I want to watch this all the time. I've seen her do a couple of spots where I'm all like, okay, but I don't think she can continue that gimmick wherever she goes, but I also don't think she's good enough to work without that gimmick for a while, so it's up to her, man. Let's see. I think. Let's see. Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. I think this is a tough one.
It's a toss-up, I think.
I think it could go absolutely either way. I think you give it to Ricochet and you have Joe get pissed and go after like Balor or something after this.
See, I think the opposite. I think they would give it. Joe would get it, or retain it, and him and Ricochet go back and forth for a little bit to actually build something.
So you think that
This is like a beginning of a mini feud.
Yeah. So you think you keep it on Joe, and then do you still think Joe drops it to Ricochet down the line?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Because, they're giving Ricochet way too big of a push not to strap a belt on him sooner or later.
That's what I think. I think this would be really good for Ricochet, and I think that Joe is so good that there's no reason why he can't be in the Universal title picture.
Yeah, I agree.
It is always kind of weird whenever he has his belt and he holds it so well. He would be compelling and it would be good matches because he doesn't have good matches or bad matches with anyone.
Yeah.
But he makes everyone look fantastic. I think I think him versus Seth Rollins or him versus Baron Corbin would be a fantastic match.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's easily the best wrestler in the world right now. He's the most fluid, the most natural moving, the most athletic, the best seller, and the most flashy. Like he's the total package as far as bell to bell. I will say that his out of ring promos need work, but they're not bad. He doesn't come off shitty. He just doesn't come off exciting, and so I feel like that's the only spot I think he can use it.
I think I'd like them to get this belt on to Ricochet and off of Joe, so that Joe does move up to that next level. Like rather than wanting a rematch, he's just like, I'm done, and just moves up it. And then I want him to. I think at SummerSlam, Joe versus Corbin would be a fantastic match.
Yeah, I think that'd be amazing, and I think Joe and Seth could be great because that was a rivalry they never really explored like they should have.
Seth got hurt.
Exactly. So Seth should have come back and said, "Fuck you, Joe." And how is that? How ready-made is that feud?
Yeah.
Hey, I've been up here on top while I've been down there. Well, yeah, I've just been biding my time. He's like, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I took you out for 6 months before I can do that again. I just haven't been focused on you. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a ready-made feud to put Joe up on the top, and I think that I just don't understand why you don't. I don't understand why you got Baron Corbin versus Seth on top and not Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins on top. So that's why, to me, I think you got to get that title off of Joe. He's already made that title seem important, which it hasn't for a long time. But I think that Ricochet can take the baton and keep going with it. It's going to be an important thing. Who's going to beat Ricochet? And Ricochet doesn't seem unbeatable. He just seems like incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and if Joe gets the Universal title, I could see Rey Mysterio coming back for Joe for the Universal title, which would put more credibility on that title and would be a good end to that feud. And I think that if you're going to reestablish that feud, which I have this feeling that they would, do it for something with bigger stakes. And I think that title would be perfect for it, and it needs that legitimacy. Plus, Joe would go out there every week with that title and just hold it over everyone. And I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and then you have a ready-made feud coming up whenever Ricochet makes his way up there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I took the U.S. from
So-
you, and I can beat you again.
If you guys think Ricochet gets the U.S. title, who then is Ricochet or going after Ricochet?
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black. That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
I think Aleister Black. I think a lot of people could go with Ricochet because he is so new. I think Ali and Ricochet could be really, really good. I think Cesaro and Ricochet could be really, really good in more of a series now that Cesaro is a single.
I don't know why you don't have guys like Shinsuke and Rusev in the U.S. title picture with guys like Ricochet and Ali.
Because they're on
And I'm
SmackDown.
trying- Oh, well, maybe that's it.
Have you seen what Rusev's been putting on Instagram lately?
He's been a little huffy, isn't he?
Not really that. I think it is that, but he's been really putting in work. He's down about like 50, 60 pounds.
Oh, no kidding.
Like him and Sheamus is also doing it, but I think Sheamus is doing it for medical reasons.
Yeah.
But he's down like a huge amount of weight, and he looks fantastic. I think he's just trying to be in that shape that maybe he'll get airtime, or if he's gonna get out of there, look fantastic, and he really does look great. And Sheamus is evidently down to 229 pounds.
Nice. I have seen a bunch of his workout stuff. He's been posting with people, and that's been kind
Next
of cool.
205.
That would be so cool.
What do you think, Dondo? Who's got it?
I think I'm probably gonna say Ricochet, cause he's a little bit more athletic than Samoa Joe is, so he can kind of get around him faster, so he can kind of eventually.
So once again, the fat guy is getting winded.
I'm not talking.
Dude, you've been
about
calling us
that.
fat since you walked in here, man.
No, I'm not.
That was crazy. We asked where he wanted to sit, and he was all like, well, your fat asses can't sit between me. He goes, I'm going to have to squeeze in between that hump of meatball. That's what he said. I couldn't believe it. It's outrageous.
That's why it took so long to get on air. We were crying.
Yeah, I had to like reconsider some things.
Nothing.
But I mean, I mean, yeah. If you think that he's going to get it because of speed over, I mean, that's the question always, right? Speed versus size, power versus agility, and you think that Ricochet's going to get it. I do think it's going to be Ricochet. I do think that. I think that strictly because I think at this point, where do you put Ricochet to keep him going as opposed to having him continuously hit walls? And if you want to build him as underdog, then yeah, maybe. But I would say that if he loses this one, then I want to see like a 2 to 3 matches with Samoa Joe to get through that hurdle. But I'm just so anxious to get Samoa Joe on a higher spot on the card that I just think that, yeah, drop it, have him move on, have him get up to the other. Have him even show up in Universal Match as the special guest referee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's see. So after this, we're thinking Roman versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I put Drew McIntosh. Yeah. I think it's gonna be. Say, what have they been doing with it? Roman lost in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Roman's gonna win. Unless Shane gets involved, maybe. I don't know.
The whole thing's
It's not
like a fucking
boring.
mess. Yeah.
I mean, it's not boring. It's very boring. It's not
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
even care where they're going with any of it. I
Yeah.
just want it all to kind of stop. I think they're going to give it to Drew because I think they're trying to build Roman as an underdog right now, and I don't know why. But that's the only reason I think that. Let's see, you think it's going to be Roman because Roman always wins and just had a loss and he can't lose too many times in a row? Because he just lost again, right?
He's never had back-to-back losses.
Well, he just did.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I was just saying, like, he just did for like the first time. He had like 2 back-to-back losses.
He's never tapped out.
Oh, we'll give him a tap. And then
Joe
Clump.
got him to tap.
Vince.
What do you think, Dondo?
I actually don't know because, like Kevin said, it could either go to Roman because I kind of think that Shane will interfere, but he'll get caught doing it, so he'll be like kicked out, or he might not, which will give Drew the win. So I think it's kind of like mixed.
It's all
for me.
It's all based on Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think Shane can come out, interfere, and then Roman still wins?
I mean, like to me, I think the way Roman could win is if Shane gets caught, and then Drew will get all mad and stuff like that.
Like disqualification.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, "Hey, get him back in here," and then Roman will hit him with the spear, or if he doesn't get caught, then Drew will get the win. So
So
yeah,
who do you think?
Who do you think is going to win, and who do you really
I
want
think
to win?
mostly Roman because Shane hasn't been caught too many times, but now that they look at the cameras and stuff like that, they've been seeing him but haven't been really calling it out. So maybe now might be the time that they actually will do it.
Maybe get him. Is that who you want to win too, Roman?
I don't really know who I want to win, but I just
No one
I
does.
just think it makes more sense if just Roman
If
wins.
Roman wins. What do you think, Clump?
Hello?
Clump, did you die? Oh my God, Clump. Did you drink the Windex?
Did he hang up?
No, it's still has like the
No, it's dead air. You can hear it. Like, so I heard some thumping, some moving, and then he's gone. Hey, Clump! We're gonna hear like a flush. Like a background flush. Like
Sorry guys, there's some technical difficulties.
yeah. Clump? Alright, well, we've lost Clump. Clump, what do you...
He would like to face. He wants to face.
Oh my God. Let's see, end and accept. Ooh.
That's
Call
good.
failed. End the call.
So what's that knocking on?
That's him, dude. He's trying to call back. He's having a hard go of it. Let me see if I can get him back on the horn here.
There he is.
Clump.
Hello?
You did it!
Yay!
Yeah, you didn't bring the show to a screeching halt at all.
Well, sucks I could hear it too, and I was like, God damn it.
Did you hit the mute button?
And like a dumbass, I'm there responding like, no, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Oh, Stackhouse says you're pooping.
Yeah.
He goes, he's pooping.
He's pooping.
I did that before. I'm a consummate professional.
You're an incontinent professional.
Incompetent?
Hey, the pants give me the freedom to go through my day.
You can poop through your pants?
Not through them, in them.
Oh. All right. Down the leg of them. Cheers to Stackhouse for coming in. Stackhouse, let us know what you think. We're always curious.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to win, Roman and McIntyre?
I think McIntyre needs it desperately. I really don't like all of this for McIntyre. I know that there's always something to be said about being attached to a McMahon, but usually that's if you're feuding with them. When you're attached to the McMahons, like as a corporate stooge or as, you know, like an enforcer, unless you're Triple H, it's not done well for you typically, you know?
I mean, you heard this last week. I was calling them the new Mean Street Posse. I think it could be good for them, but I just...
Do you think Heath comes in and attacks Drew?
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't know if he does right now after he got his ass whipped last week.
Yeah, but that's why he would. He got something to prove. Oh, shit, I just realized we didn't change our graphic. Joe and Drew. Boom, boom. There it is. That's what we've been talking about for this whole time. And then part of it was also Clump's fault over on this side. This idiot here went and pooped and didn't tell us and then pretended he wasn't pooping.
I kept responding. I forgot to take it off mute.
Oh, Marion says that Lacey just posted on social media that she's stuck on the side of the road because of a tire. Because of a messed up tire and favors in 2 hours. I hope she doesn't show, man. Fuck it.
I hope she needs to curry some favors to get the fuck over there.
Dude, how do you suck dick to get a new tire?
There's a child present.
Dondo!
Earmuffs.
Speak up, man!
What?
Earmuffs.
My bad. Yeah, earmuffs. Earmuffs! Let's see. So, who do you think they're going to give it to? Roman or Drew? You think Drew needs it, you said?
Please, Drew.
I think this, though, is I think that if they were to really go all in on the idea of a corporate faction, that this is a great group of guys to do that with, but they're pussyfooting around it, and it's just making it weird, and I want them to just be all like, we are the nation. You know what I mean? Like, that attitude of coming out as a group and just saying, this is who we are, and we are here as a unit to destroy you, as opposed to just like, oh, come have a drink with us. Oh, go win a title and come. I don't know about you. But I like you right now. Oh, you're here this week, you're not here that week. I want them to lock it down and say, this is the new authority or some shit.
We are a nation. Us 5 white guys.
Yes.
We're surrounding the son of someone very close to the Republican president. We are the nation.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Let's see. South Marin. I mean, I guess we'll talk about the women's matches because I don't know what order they're all going to be in, to be honest. I agree. I don't think they're going to put the women's matches back to back. I do think that Sasha Bailey goes on before Lacey Becky, but you're saying you think it might go the other way.
I think Bailey Alexa is, you know, maybe co-main event.
Yeah, that's what Mary was saying too.
Yeah, I agree with him because there's actually excitement about this because this is another one that could go either way.
Oh,
It's
and that
actually
heat. Well,
yeah.
Let's get to that. We'll do Lacey Becky then right now. Becky versus Lacey for the Raw Women's Championship. I think you keep it on Becky, but I also think that I think you keep it on Becky, but I think the problem is with Lacey is where do you go from here? How many loses can she have and still keep steam and keep rising? And I think that's part of the problem when you have someone so green that you're putting so high on the card so early, you don't really give them a lot of places to go. You know what I mean? So I think that you leave it on Becky, but what the fuck do you do after that? So that's why I think they'll give it to Lacey, but I would prefer they leave it on Becky. I don't think Lacey's ready for it, but I think that they're thinking that they'll have Becky chase the belt back or some shit.
See, I don't. I think this is gonna be Becky's because, in my theory, what goes on later is gonna build to something up that we'll discuss. But I think it's gonna be Becky's. I don't think they're gonna give it to Lacey quite yet, especially since she's not even there yet.
She's not even at the show, and she's been getting better, but we're watching her get better, and it's another one of those, like, do you want to throw the title on someone who's not quite there yet?
Yeah.
You know? So you think Becky?
I think Becky, yes.
I agree with you guys. I'm gonna say Becky because it just sounds like
She's your
Lacey's.
favorite.
Hey, stop
Because
it.
it sounds like what?
Stop it.
Wait, what was your reason?
Like you guys said, Lacey isn't really ready yet. She is kind of a beginner, so, and I think she should just start with kind of like the easies and just get to like the hards and move up to the titles, kind of.
Mm-hmm. And then what do you think about Becky?
Becky, I think she's honestly gonna win because she's kind of in like the title part of it, so where she can like fight the hard ones, so she can get Lacey down pretty easily, probably.
Yeah. She can rip her arm off?
So you just think Lacey's not at the level of Becky quite yet?
Probably, yeah, just not yet.
Plus, Becky's kind of pretty, right?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah, no, do you see my Becky wall over here?
Yeah,
Of course he saw that.
Yeah, he just keeps...
He hasn't even looked at the camera once.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the camera.
Clump, who do you think's going to take this one?
I think that they want to build this angle as a chase. I agree with that. I really don't want Becky to be chasing the title on Lacey. I think she's too new, and yeah, she's a really good shitty heel, but I don't know. I don't think she's the right person. I don't know who is. Because they've moved everyone around so much, honestly, I would rather it be someone like Asuka. I would rather it be someone like Ember Moon. I would like to see Becky hold it and have somebody else come up. And Lacey could still... I think Lacey would be in a good spot to become an underdog and then work her way up.
I think so too, except you only listed SmackDown wrestlers.
Yeah,
so...
I know. The wild card rule sucks. I don't know who the fuck's on any brand anymore.
No one.
Yeah, no one does. But that's just it. That's why I think they'll give it to Lacey, because who's next on there? You got Naomi.
Shit, I didn't even know she was employed.
Yeah, Naomi's there on Raw.
Nikki?
Nikki Cross.
Natalia.
Natty. Oh wait, what did we do that we got in trouble? For what bit? Yeah, I don't know. What? You got us in trouble, dude.
What did I do?
You're too
I'm
slow
the
with
little
your
one.
earmuffs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I just don't know that the roster is deep enough to go a lot of places after the fact, which is why I think they'll give it to Lacey and such. But I don't know. I'm really hoping Becky, and I'm voting for Becky. But there's something in my mind that thinks they're gonna do something stupid here. Speaking of stupid, I think we go into Alexa versus Bayley next.
Hey.
No. I
Let's
think
do that too.
here's the deal: is I know there's a lot of people saying like, "Oh, now's a good time." Bayley or Alexa is hot. She just did the Moment of Bliss segment where she ripped Bayley apart, and they think that you could build in to Alexa and Nikki. Specifically, Taz had a whole theory on that on his podcast. My problem with that theory is, where does Bayley go from there? Because I feel like Alexa can go anywhere, but I feel like Bayley can't, right? And so I think you got to leave it on Bayley because of all the shit that Alexa's been talking. She's got to get that win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then that whole bit, and WWE even posted it specific. They posted it with words on the bottom on their Instagram where it saw like, Bayley, you're a placeholder. And then shows Bailey saying, I'm a placeholder. He goes, then you'll always be a placeholder. And he showed that clip on their Instagram like today. And it was just like, it's like, fuck, if she loses, then that's true.
Mm-hmm. But see, I think this is going to be a double turn. I think they're going to give it to Alexa, especially since you texted us about the Alexa, was it 24/7?
365.
365, that's it. 24/7 is the championship. My bad. The 365
Special.
Yeah, special right after Stomping Ground. So I think you give it to Alexa, and then, like I said, I think there's the double turn there because, to me, it seems like they've been trying to put Alexa as a face lately again.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, poor me, this and that. And then all of a sudden she's mean again, and she kind of goes back and forth. And I think Bailey becomes a heel.
I think that Bailey becomes a heel if she loses.
Yeah, well, that, exactly. I think they're going to put it on Alexa, but I would prefer Bailey with it.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, unless the double turn creates an Extreme Rules match.
I think Bailey is really, they've done a lot of, which I can see that too, but not another kendo stick match.
Yeah.
I could see this is I think Bailey, they've been hinting at all these little tiny nuances of, is she good or is she bad? Is she evil or not? She comes off so bubbly.
What was that, Clump?
Clump, quit pooping over there, dude.
I'm busy having fun, okay?
I just think that with all those little subtleties, you have a kind of dynamic character who's also can get it done in the ring really well, where you can kind of hint at, oh, look at how happy and joyful I am about stuff, but maybe I have a mean streak or a snarky background that you don't know about. But I think that if you push it, if Alexa wins the title, I think Bailey snaps and goes all evil and just beats the shit out of her with tables or something. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do something to that point to keep Bailey with that steam. Right now, like, she's carrying that division in a nutty way. I want to see Bailey have a long run with these titles, and I don't want to see Alexa be the one to beat her every time. And I will say, if that's what they're doing, if Alexa beats her again, so that way Alexa can be the one to beat her again for her title, Bailey needs to win that back. She needs to be able to overcome this Alexa. But,
Yeah.
Who do you think, Dondo?
I'm gonna have to say Bailey because, like you guys said, if Alexa wins, then all the stuff that she said is true. But if Alexa loses, that's just stuff that's coming out of her mouth, and it's not true. So is she a good champion or not? So I think Bailey has to win this.
I'm surprised you didn't do the Bailey bun or whatever. Not the buddy.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Clump?
Clump, who do you think's going to take this one?
I think Bailey needs it more than anyone else. I think Bailey deserves a run. I think Bailey's character's changing a lot rapidly, and I think it's good. I think they need to keep. I think keeping the belt on her will let them further develop this. I think what we keep talking about with her going heel can happen with it, or she could become this good mix. I like her as a fighting champion. I don't think this feud that's based off of social media is going to... I really don't want this to be where she loses her belt. I want it to mean something.
I want it to be bigger too. I will say this is I think Nikki is the big wild card here that no one's really talking. And I think that no one's really talking about her is that I think that she's got a lot of room to get involved here. She can get involved in a ton of ways that can make this storyline go everywhere. I think that the heart of this entire storyline, Bailey and Alexa, is actually Nikki. And if you watch Nikki, every time they're talking, or every time Alexa and Bailey are talking, she seems like so torn and confused. And why are you saying this? And how could you be this way? And all this kind of stuff.
You're supposed to be my friend, and but you're mean to Bailey, type of thing.
Yeah, and then it's like, I support you, and then it's like, wait, why did you say that? Like, she's super expressive during these bits. And I think that you can have a few things happen here. I think that Nikki can get involved and fuck up Alexa's win, and then you can have Alexa turn on Nikki, and now you have a whole storyline where Bayley keeps her title, and Alexa's moving forward with the Nikki storyline.
I think that's a more compelling feud too, because it's just everything else seems in my head. Every other option with this just seems stupid, and then it doesn't seem like the way you take a title off of somebody who people have wanted to have a title for a long time. In my opinion, as long, if not longer than Becky.
Yeah, the crowd is behind Bayley. They really, truly are. And as much as WWE tries to seem to, for whatever reason, hide it, the crowd's behind Bayley, and they like her having titles.
Yeah. Well, and the biggest thing was, I've made mention to it several times, was the Raw after Rumble.
Yeah.
The whole crowd was completely behind Bayley, chanting, doing all her, songs and everything like that.
Singing to her and shit.
Yeah. And WWE completely edited it all out.
Yeah.
They drowned out the crowd noise, and stuff like that. And it was like, why are you doing this to her? Like, everyone, is for her and wants her and, backing her. And no, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, and it wasn't the narrative they wanted yet. So I will say this too. I think another option that can also make everybody happy is Alexa can still turn and Bayley can still turn and Nikki can still be the catalyst. Nikki turns on Alexa. Turns out she's been on Bayley's side the whole time.
Yeah.
Now Bayley and Nikki are a team. They're raising amok. They're going crazy.
I would like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Alexa's been cheated out of her victory by Nikki and the evil Bayley. Like, I think that would be a perfect way to take that, where you still get your double turn.
Yeah. And the other thing is that might be the way to do it, especially since Alexa is on Raw, technically.
Yeah.
Once again, the stupid wild card.
What's with all these fucking wild card matches, man?
Yeah.
Earmuffs. Just kidding. It's too late. I already said it.
Ah,
I can't do it before. You got to be quicker than me, dude.
Yeah,
Every time you see my mouth open, you have to go, here it comes.
We each need to do just one hand
Because
real quick.
randomly putting his hands to his ears the entire time. Like
Yeah.
every 15 seconds or so. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Doesn't remove them.
But I think you've been providing some great insight this go around. Let's see what you have to say about the next one. Anybody has anything else they want to say about Bayley and Alexa?
I think
It's
we're good.
not gross.
I'm not meaning about anything gross.
Okay.
Plus, I didn't say anything. And actually, I don't think Bayley's the evil one here. I think it's just like the entire WWE, not the universe though, is just trusting Alexa and is just making Bayley look bad. I don't think that the fact is Bayley is actually evil.
I think that's true too.
Being
I think we
manipulated.
Yeah, they're making her look that way.
Yeah,
And
I
she's
agree.
actually not.
I met her one time. She was very, very nice. Shadow King says that everyone's forgetting that Sasha hasn't left WWE yet. I know, and I think about that all the time. When do you bring Sasha back? But I think that with the turn I just said, I actually was going to bring that up and forgot. So I'm glad that you made mention of this. If Nikki and Bayley team up against Alexa to keep Bayley's belt, Sasha can show up and say, "Who this bitch?" And now you have a Bayley and Sasha feud for the title with Nikki in the middle. So now you got Nikki, Sasha, Bayley, and even Alexa in that mix.
Well, I could even see Nikki getting involved and then Sasha running out there.
Oh,
if
yeah.
she's there. It'd be interesting.
Well, it's just it is like, but when she comes back, it's got to be big. It's got to mean something. I don't want Sasha to come back to save Bayley's belt and then be Bayley's sidekick.
But it's also 2019 WWE. They would have tweeted about it or put it
Tune
on
in for
Instagram.
Sasha.
Sasha's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But I do think that. I think that if you have Nikki turn on Alexa and you have Nikki and Bayley team up, you've got a couple months before SummerSlam. You build them up as a thing. I think even after that, maybe some random Extreme Rules or Hell in a Cell pay-per-view between there. You have Sasha come back and be like, what the fuck's
There's only
going on
one.
here?
It's only Extreme Rules in between now and SummerSlam.
Yeah, but I mean like after SummerSlam.
Oh, after. Okay.
Because I want it to build a little bit, the Nikki and Bayley friendship, and then I want Sasha to come in real fucking pissed and take out Nikki, and then trying to get through to Bayley. And then you can have a big Bayley-Sasha rivalry for a title, which we know can be amazing. They literally put on Match of the Year when they were in NXT. It was like one of the first time ever Match of the Year was a women's belt.
Can I touch something kind of important here?
Yeah.
Kevin, what the fuck happened to your voice right now? Because it went way high there.
Kevin?
Mine?
Yeah. Like, he made a comment and his voice went super creepily high.
It was probably because it was about Alexa.
Yeah, that. Like, what the
about Alexa.
All I'm gonna say is your wife's a lucky woman.
Thanks.
That's also Dondo's mom, dude, so chill. Quit talking about his mom. I told you they were going to bring up your mom, too. I tried to tell you.
Hey, my mom had nothing to do with this.
That's right. I like that he defends his mom's honor, too. See,
Hell yeah.
Clump, if you were here, he would deck you, and we would all stand behind him being like, get him!
Get him!
Get him!
Fair.
I would pick him up and throw him like Enzo and Cass. I would just pick up Seth and throw him right at Clump.
Take him
Boom!
out.
Get him!
Bam.
Throw him into a spear and just.
Yeah.
Alright, next.
After that, we got Kofi versus Dolph in a steel cage match. A solid steel cage.
Oof.
Oof.
So, do it again. Say oof again.
Oof.
So,
Oof.
so. Let's start with Dondo this time. Who do you think, man? Who do you think's gonna take this one?
Man, this is actually hard. Because, I mean, I think Kofi has a lot of confidence to win this. But I think Dolph is seriously going to take his word and just actually do what he said. So I'm actually thinking Dolph Ziggler because
It should have been me.
he's being very serious with what he's saying. And I don't think he's joking about him getting the title. And he literally looks like he means business and is like, I'm going to take that back because it was mine. And
That was many moons ago it was his.
Yeah, it should have been me. No, that's true. He's shown Dolph Ziggler's a different level of intensity lately, and he's up. He's out to show what's up, and he means business. And
yeah.
it's hard to argue with what you're saying. I think it's going to be Kofi, because I think Kofi's just on such a big run. But I do think that if Dolph won it, it wouldn't be like the shock of the world. I do think that they're both super high caliber. I just think that Kofi's on fire, man. Like boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
You know, NBA Jam style. He's on fire!
He didn't have an accent.
They did.
His southern accent.
Hell yeah.
He's on fire, y'all.
So far! So far!
I think I kind of wish that this feud was switched up. I wish that Dolph went to Raw and was going after Seth because I would like Dolph to have a title. I just don't want him to have Kofi's.
Yeah, dude, it should have been him. Let him do that. Let him lose here and then be like, fuck you guys, I'm going to Raw.
Yeah.
Seth, you know what? You little bitch. I didn't realize Kofi was so tough.
Yeah.
Come here, Seth. I'll knock your teeth in.
Or if he does like the U.S. title, he wins it and I'm like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Going back to comedy, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dolph. He's a hell of a talent. I just don't think Kofi losing it has to be a bigger,
It's got to be huge.
yeah, a big thing.
His loss has got to make someone, and I don't know if it makes Dolph.
I could see him like eventually losing to like maybe, I don't know, Aleister Black, where there's this build up and then all of a sudden, well, not right now. He stumbles into the closet and then it's over.
Yo,
But
real quick on Aleister Black, if you guys don't listen to Taz's podcast, check it out. Taz is incredible, super funny. He has a theory on what he would like to see happen with Aleister Black, and he says what he thinks should happen, and he goes, I'll even lay it out. And he goes, here's free creative for you guys. He said he laid out, he would have Aleister Black where they do the bit where he's like, open the door, and he goes, and showed the light. He goes, now they should do it again where he says, open the door, but it should pan over to see a stagehand like opening the door and kind of break down that third wall a little bit, saying like, here's someone coming in, and I'm like, you know, come in, fight me, nothing's doing it, and then pan back to Aleister Black, and then, you know, no one does it. Then you do one more week where he does it again, opens the door, fucking fight me, come and fight me, pans back to Aleister Black, and then out of nowhere while he's saying, see, no one's willing to fight me, he goes, you just see a fucking leg come flying through, knock everything's in shambles, the whole thing goes, camera falls, comes down, puts his face right in the middle of it, and it's Shinsuke. And he's all like, "I'll fight you," and you have Aleister Black just laid out and just walk out. And it's all like, ooh, that would be so good. Aleister Black for Shinsuke and have Shinsuke come back all ferocious.
Yeah, that would be good.
It'd be really good.
Two of the best strikers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think when Kofi loses that title, it has to make someone. I don't even know if Aleister Black's big enough for me. I think it's got to be maybe like a Ricochet or like
different brands, bro.
I'm just saying in general,
I know.
like it's got to be someone who's been fighting, like another kind of
Alice,
or an ultimate heel.
Yeah,
It's got to be the biggest heel you have.
Aleister Black was
Brock
just,
Lesnar?
Yep. Well, there's
Sammy.
rumor about that, about Brock cashing in on Kofi, which would be interesting.
Oh God.
Just as long as he protects it this time. Hey, I'm gonna hold this until like the next 4 pay-per-views, so come and get it.
Yeah, as long as he's there. Oh,
That
Yeah,
one
you
was.
saw
Probably gonna
that.
see it in 4
You
months.
saw that.
he holds up the title.
Oh yeah, holds it up like a boombox.
Yeah.
Boombox City. Boombox City. So Clump, you think Kofi on this one?
I really hope so. I like Dolph a lot. He is fantastic. Kofi was a really special title win, and I think he's a very special title holder.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when he loses it, it's got to be big. And I don't know that this is big enough. Like I do think a Dolph win is big because he is quite the underdog and he is quite a heel. He kind of checks the boxes of what you'd want for someone who would beat a Kofi, but I just don't feel like it's big enough yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't
Yeah.
think so either.
Like WrestleMania had two fantastic wins that were really important, Becky and Kofi. And taking one of the belts off Becky, they did it, I think, the right way by giving it to Bayley. I think that's great.
Well, and using Charlotte to do it, I think, was smart too, because I think that it provided Bayley the win without the heat of taking Becky's title.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know if anyone could have a satisfactory win over Kofi at this point.
Yeah.
And even in the sense of, like, I know when we have, like, heels that get belts, you know, or, like, just, you know, some totally everyone hated heel gets a belt, it's still got to be satisfying or make sense, and I don't know if Dolph has it yet. I don't know anyone on that roster who does.
Sammy.
Even Brock.
I was thinking
I
KO.
think if Brock won it, it would just be like, oh, at this point, kind of frustrating and annoying.
Yeah.
I conversely would like Brock to take Seth's title. I think keeping Brock focused on Seth is good.
I agree. I do think
I
a
just-
KO or Sammy, I think, could both
I
get
think-
that kind of heat.
I think once again, if Brock shows up regularly, it would be okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and if he's done with UFC, it might give him a little more incentive. But I do think that, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a certain niche of a special attraction. I think as long as you have Heyman coming in, and I don't know, I guess the way you do it, because I don't feel like,
and maybe it's before the Fox deal.
yeah,
SmackDown's going to Fox. Hey, Brock cashes in, takes it right before that. Very first episode of SmackDown on Fox is Brock with the belt.
yeah, that'd be good. I will say this:
Yeah.
how do you guys think the steel cage is going to factor in? It's not in the steel cage for no fucking reason.
It was weird. I thought it was kind of just thrown on them.
Yeah, because
Here's
of
steel
one
cage.
kick by Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that something's going to happen. Someone might get involved. You know what I mean? We
Dolph's best friend Miz.
Ooh. Luke Harper.
Yeah.
Wait.
And no, I don't think we're gonna see Bray real quick, Shadow King. I think when he does come back, it is gonna be like at SummerSlam, one of the bigger pay-per-views.
Although,
I think Bray's Monday after Stomping Ground.
Really,
That's what I feel.
I want him back sooner rather than later, but
I don't know. I think his show is creepy enough. I think he can just stay with that and don't
just don't come back.
Please don't ever wrestle my favorites again.
Yeah.
Just stay in your show.
Stay away.
I could see Bray. Wait, both sides? Cool, I get a bagel. I could see Bray.
off topic.
Do you see what it's like working with Clump, Dondo?
Yeah, sorry. I could see Bray taking Kofi's belt. I could see that, and I could see that being okay because it's been such a long developed story, and I could see that where it's somebody who surprises, takes it, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think we see him tonight. I think we see him Monday night. But I do think there's something about the steel cage that we're not factoring in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's something about it that we don't see and that we're going to be surprised with. But I think it's in the steel cage for a reason. I guess we'll find out. That does bring us to the last match on the card that we believe to be occurring. We don't know right now if Revival and Usos are going to be a thing. If it is a thing, I say Revival keeps it.
Revival, yeah.
Yeah. Revival Usos, if it happened.
I think it's probably going to be Revival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like the Usos to have it, but...
Yeah,
I mean,
but
yeah.
I think that Revival's on a good swing right now, and
Yeah.
you leave it with them. So the last one is Seth Rollins against Baron Corbin for the Universal title. There's no stipulations in this except for a
Special guest referee.
special guest referee. Do you think the special guest referee is going to make any kind of impact?
Yes.
Watch it be Charles Robinson.
I know, right?
Just a regular ref.
Earl Hebner.
It's Hebner.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Jason, he's back.
It's
Yeah.
Jared the King.
Well,
So-
Earl Hebner's twin brother.
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
Hebner?
Yeah. It says Earl on his shirt still.
Yeah, it says Earl.
Yeah. But see, this is what I was going back to, or said earlier about the women's prediction. Everyone has these theories. Oh, it's going to be this. It's going to be Becky. It's going to be... Truthfully, and I think it would lead straight into SummerSlam, easy transition, I think the special guest referee is Ronda Rousey.
Well, if it is...
Okay.
She'll have an impact. It'll immediately get her heat with Becky, and there's your main event. Maybe not main event, but there's a headlining match at SummerSlam. Ronda Rousey's return versus Becky Lynch. I don't know if she's gonna cost set the belt.
She would have to,
necessarily.
and it would have to be, but it could be good. That could
But
work.
then if Brock's cashing in, they have that UFC connection. 3 count real quick. Brock's got the championship. Ronda's got the heat. Fade to black.
Yeah, I could see that, and I do think that if Ronda does come out and do that, do you have... Dude, turn down your phone, man! Why are we hearing us, man? Ah, have you never called in on a radio show before?
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah. Long time host, first time caller.
Yeah.
I think...
How do phones work?
How does volume happen? I think that if Ronda does Becky come out during the match? Does she stand ringside? And
I think
go,
afterwards, I think it's all
Ronda
surprised. Like I said, if it is, like I said, Brock and Ronda having the UFC connection, Brock goes to cash in real quick. Ronda just, like I said, quick 3. But then Becky comes out late. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, man, too late.
But then you have, if Brock does come out, then you have Ronda Becky being bigger than Brock again. I don't see Brock letting that happen. So you'd have to have like a Monday thing.
I don't think it'll be bigger than Brock.
No. But do you think if Ronda comes out, do you think that impacts whether or not Becky holds the title that night? She has to hold it then.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying I think Becky's keeping it.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I said. I was like, I'll get into it later, but I think Becky keeps it for that reason.
Yeah, she has to
Yeah.
at that point.
And this is just pure speculation.
To lead into a SummerSlam Rousey Becky thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I might be dumb, but I'm not buying into a lot of this impregnation vacation stuff. I'm just not.
Yeah.
They
Wait,
signed
what
us for
about impregnation?
the Rousey stuff where she says she's trying to have a baby and stuff. I'm just really not buying into it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm just hopeful that she comes back or whatever, or I just see other storylines that can happen, or that I'm reading too much into the fact that she signed a 3-year deal and maybe only didn't like it as much as we all thought that she would. But there's a big part of me who thinks she's coming back.
I do too.
If that's the case and she's the special guest referee, then I think 100% Becky has to hold that title. Do you think that if Ronda is a special guest referee, does that impact the ending of it versus if someone like a Brock Lesnar is the special guest referee?
Well, the thing is with the Brock being the ref is it all determines if he can count his own fall.
No, he can have another ref come out.
Yeah, well,
I say this: if he's special guest referee, how that works, and I don't think they'll do it, but how it works is he guest referees that match, and
afterwards.
the 1, 2, 3 happens, and Paul Heyman walks out with the briefcase and a ref.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
There's just this is one of the few times lately that WWE's had several different angles. It's got excitement actually on who the special guest referee is going to be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
a lot of rumors.
And they can go any different direction, any different way.
If Rousey's the special guest referee, do you think Seth walks out with the title?
No. But I think it's because Brock's cashing in.
You think Brock's going to cash in?
Brock's-
I think it's
Brock's-
too early for him to cash in.
Yeah. I think well,
So do you think Corbin gets the win and Brock cashes in on Corbin?
no. I don't think you give Corbin the belt at all.
I'd like to have Corbin have the belt.
I would too. I like Corbin.
I will say this: if they give him the belt for 30 seconds while Brock cashes in, then it's and former Universal
Yeah,
Champion.
Yeah.
Like that feeds into his gimmick.
His whole accolades.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
He held it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just there's 100,000 different theories on who the ref could be and who, or what the outcome is, and
I kind of want Brock to not successfully cash in, but not like against Seth. Just not. So he's chasing. I like Brock as a heel, and I like Brock chasing.
Yeah, me too. I like it a lot. That's what I think. To me, it's too early to give Brock the cash in because I think Brock with the Money in the Bank is the most perfect Brock storyline we could have ever hoped for.
no, I like it. I like it a lot.
I think it's so good. And the fact that not only is he chasing, but he's in control, fuck, that's evil.
Yeah.
Like that's too wicked to give up. I don't see how you do it. I do think that if Becky's special guest referee, I do think either way, Brock closes the show with beating the snot out of Seth. I just think he walks out without taking the title.
That would be a good one.
And I think that the other thing is I think that he stands, if Becky's a special guest referee, he stands, Becky and Brock are nose to nose and she doesn't flinch. Like, they don't get physical, but she doesn't back down. That gives her a little bit of that badass rub where you're like, fuck.
But then it makes her look tougher than Seth.
Seth nose to nose is Brock too.
Yeah, but then he has to kick him in the balls.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
That's how she wins. She kicks Lacey in the balls. Japan. Can't believe you laughed.
So the
Inappropriate.
the other
I,
thing,
I
You are a
already
child.
think that he looks tougher than Seth. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Seth doesn't look great.
yeah,
That's actually fine. Actually, yeah. Now that you bring it up, yeah. If you make Becky look tougher than Seth, yeah, okay.
Cool.
yeah,
Keep it coming.
I think it's something. So when
she'll be the
and
man
I
with
know
the
that
pants.
they're in a relationship, and I said this before, and I think I didn't explain it as well as I should have. I haven't liked the showing Seth and Becky together in a relationship a lot, and in part that's because I worry that with WWE doing it, it's going to at some point lead to them making Becky look like Seth's girl.
I think, yeah, I see that. I think my concern is that they've been doing a good job of it, sprinkling it in here and there, and just these little tiny side nods, but not incorporating it much. But I don't think that you as a company does that unless you have an intention to use it. And I think it's getting to a point where they have to do something with it. And I don't know what it is, and I don't want them to be too involved with each other, but if they can give each other a little bit of the rub and get each other looking tough again, then that could be good. I think there's something that's got to happen with that, with them kind of like mentioning it and moving on. But
So the other thing I was going to bring up real quick, because I was thinking of other things, is when you were talking about the cage being a factor, do you think this might be the return of Bray? And he shows up in the cage and New Day's on the outside looking in as Bray's the Fiend is dismantling Kofi?
I thought that is possible. The Fiend does something here to decide who the winner is, and whether that means he gives it to Dolph or keeps Kofi as the champion, and why, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I do think that it's possible Bray could come in and be a factor in that match.
Yeah. The other thing is that I was thinking that might be a factor in that match is Elias has no spot here at Stomping Ground.
He'll be in McIntyre's match probably.
You think?
Yeah. I do think that...
but if Elias gets involved and helps Dolph with the win, and all of a sudden it's Shane's corporation, Dolph as the champion, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah. I do think that Bray could be the special guest referee, but not as the Fiend, as the talk show host.
As the talk show host, the workout guy?
Yeah, the workout guy.
I think it'd be really cool if whoever won the steel cage match, won it, got on top of the cage, like was sitting there, then the lights go down, Bray's on top of the cage with them, kicks them off of it into the ring or out of it, because both of these guys could potentially take that bump and look like safely, and then he goes and gets in the ring and starts beating down the other guy, so he just beats everyone down.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think that if he gets involved, he decides who the winner is. I just don't know who he picks as the winner.
Or it just comes out as a no decision.
Yeah, no contest.
I would want the match to run its course and then have him come out, and the reason being is I could, like, show and beat the hell out of both of them and be like, I could have done this, but I let it happen because it doesn't matter to me who wins.
Or what if he's dragging, like, Kofi out of the cage after the beatdown, and so Kofi only technically wins because his limp body was dragged out of the cage.
Yeah. Well, that's what made me think of the cage and Taker and Mankind is Bray comes up from underneath and grabs Kofi, brings him down, and he's technically the winner because he escaped the cage, but he's underneath the ring.
Yeah, it happened one other time.
Oh, did it? Like that?
I'm trying to think who it was who won a cage match.
No.
I don't remember.
I get cautious with that because I know when they put trapdoors under rings, it creates a really hard spot on that ring, and it's hurt people.
Well, there's that, and then they'll have like the weak spots in the ring where it's all like they avoid one corner, but if you're good enough, no one notices.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that with the Triple H Mankind match, they were really actively on one half of the ring, and you realize it's because the whole other half was a fucking collapsible part when they did that cage thing.
Or with British Bulldog, he got bounced onto that trap door in WCW, and it was a big catalyst to what led to his death, because it really messed up his back for the rest of his life, and that led to him using painkillers as he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorta.
WCW killed British Bulldog.
He took a bump and then he died.
Yeah,
What?
he died.
Well,
And then he
later.
was dead.
Like years later. It was like 10 years later he died, but it was from that bump.
Well, no, it wasn't 10 years. It was like 3. There's a great video on YouTube from Wrestling with Regret where they're talking about Ultimate Warrior WCW, and all the while they have a counter at the bottom of careers and or lives that Ultimate Warrior's destroyed, and it just slowly counts up like that.
Oh yeah, that's nuts. I will say this one feels a little bit harder to say. Oh shit, Keith showed up, man.
Keith, oh, typing.
Keith.
Who's Keith?
He's one of our dudes. One of our viewers.
Cheers to Keith.
Cheers to Keith.
Howdy, Keith.
Keith, we've brought a child today. This is Dondo. He's been giving us his input on the matches. He's doing a great job of it. He's actually got some great insight. Clump is coming in via satellite, via phone call.
And not doing fantastic.
Not doing as good as Dondo.
Yeah, I agree.
Dondo's also made 100% less messes than Clump. So, I don't know. I think this one's a really hard call to make on this match just because it's hard to say who the special guest referees and how they're going to be involved. Because the obvious stuff is the Heyman or the Brock. But I feel like you don't go obvious with this one. I feel like you do something a little weird. You do something like a Becky. You do something like a Ronda in there. You do something where it gets everybody shook up a little bit to go, what the fuck is happening? Smart.
Earmuffs, there
He
you go.
earmuffed right before I said it. I said, what? And he was like, I better do this.
What the? Hands.
I have a hunch Corbin walks out with the title.
I would like that. I like Corbin.
That's how I feel.
Corbin, Seth used to like Corbin. Dondo.
I mean, I liked him when he was like that quiet guy who would always win matches because he never got the best of himself. You know,
Lone Wolf.
Yeah, the lone wolf part of him before he came like the, you know.
When he used Dean Ambrose's music as his entrance.
Yeah. Before he was a server.
Yeah.
Bet against.
I actually do think that Brock could cash in and win, but that's if Mr. He's My Client doesn't trip over the ropes again.
I think Baron gets it. I don't think Brock cashes. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess fuck. I think that Seth being tormented by Brock Lesnar is such a good storyline that doesn't translate over to Brock. And I think if you give it to Baron, you bury that.
Yeah.
So Seth has to leave with it, and Brock has to torment Seth more. That sucks, man.
Or Baron gets it, Brock comes out to cash it, and Baron is there in fear, and Seth, because maybe it was like a heel win, gets up and just takes out Brock and costs Brock the title shot.
Yeah,
and
or
you keep developing their feud with each other, but no titles involved. Now it is just personal.
I do think that if Baron gets the title, Brock does cash in. I think if Seth gets the title, Brock does not cash in. And I think that Brock beats the shit out of Seth again and then just does not cash in. I like him coming out on top and not walking away with the title. I think it makes him terrifying. And it starts making his motivation seem pretty wicked. So I think that's where you go with Brock. You keep having him drag it out as long as possible, and you have this be like the ultimate thing in the way of Seth forever. But the problem is you end up with Seth having a long title reign. I'm not real fan of that. But I do think that...
Like 6 people in the world who like that.
You know. So who do you think, Clump?
Did he just fart?
He's definitely farted.
The mic picked that one up too.
Yeah, we heard it. Clump. Clump farted.
At least do the
Okay.
At least do the Max Kellerman.
Yeah, at least pretend to cough.
But pretend to come or come out.
Yeah, it made one squeeze out.
Man, honestly, screw it. I'm just gonna go with what I want. I want Corbin to win somehow, and somehow I want this to not be a cash in on Corbin. Or if it is, like I said, I want Seth to affect. I want Seth to affect Brock's ability to cash in. I just want Corbin to have the belt. I think he'd be really good at it. I feel like
think he would.
He's grown so much, and I think he would be a good heel champion.
I think so too. I think he's going to get the booze. I think people will hate it. Again, I don't know why though you wouldn't build towards like a Samoa Joe Seth thing, but I do think that Corbin with the championship would be good. I do think even that Corbin with a 30-second reign will be good. I think that would actually help his character as part of the cocky things that he says he's done. You know?
I did it.
Yeah.
I think I would like more Samoa Joe Corbin than Seth Corbin.
But I don't. Who's the heel then? What are you gonna say? Corbin's the good guy, or is just Samoa Joe so evil that you just?
Yeah, I'm cool with Samoa Joe being so evil.
Or is he almost the face because he's that evil? Because then you're talking about like Braun Strowman Roman stuff, where the heel became the face because people hated the face so much.
Does Braun have anything going on today?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yo, you heard that right? That dude's stomach is crazy.
Like we just said, just pretend to cough.
Dondo, who do you think's going to take this one?
I'm gonna have to say Seth because Corbin actually lets his anger sometimes get the best of him. And without the cash-in, I think Seth would win. But if the cash-in does get into there, then Corbin might win it.
Even with the cash-in?
With a cash-in? You think if Brock Lesnar comes out that Corbin walks away with the title?
I mean, well, maybe he doesn't cash in, but he just like gets
Influences
in Seth's
the match.
yeah,
Beats the
like
snot
gets
out of
in
him.
Seth's face. It's like, hey, look at me, and he's like, hey, get out of here. Then Robin could get him by behind.
Clump, who's your theory on special guest referee?
Theory for special guest referee. Honestly, I really like the Ronda idea.
I think I'm gonna have to say that one too.
Yeah, or fuck it, Heyman.
What about Randy Orton?
Earmuffs.
Or Heyman? Dondo, who do you think's going to be the special guest referee?
I think the Rondo one actually
You think that one's going to do it?
sounds pretty
I think,
creative.
like I said,
and
I think it
sounds
just.
good too.
Sorry. I think it just leads into SummerSlam really easily.
And I think that's a good way to utilize that relationship in a way that doesn't impact both storylines too much. Just enough to where you get that relationship rub that they've been going for, but not enough to be like, this is a relationship-centric storyline. Man, I don't know on this one for a special guest referee. I think that obviously everyone thinks it's going to be Brock, but I think that they have to do something wild with it. I'm going to say Vince McMahon.
I was going to say Shane, Vince.
If it's Vince, then that's just...
Linda's return.
Linda's return.
Ooh, what about
Dean.
Sister Abigail?
It's going to be Dean Ambrose.
Mr. Abigail.
Special guest ref, Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose is in AEW,
Whoa,
whatever it is, but
whoa.
wait, what is it?
Really?
Something? Like what was it? You said he was in, like
Moxley?
If Dondo's
I
gonna
think
start
that's what
covering
it is.
AEW better than I am, guys.
Yeah, you got to watch out.
You might have found the replacement. You
Yeah.
change these poker chips up.
Yeah, we got to. If you got the clump poker chip, you did good. But I don't know. I think you got to do something clever like a Becky. Or
But see-
Ronda. I mean, I'm not saying don't do Ronda,
Yeah,
but I'm
but the
saying
thing
like
is-
you
'cause I
can't
was-
do Brock. It's
I was
too obvious.
Yeah, I was thinking the Becky angle, but then I don't think she would agree to it because it's Corbin's choice,
It's true. It's Corbin's choice as a ref.
and then that would make Corbin look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something for the indie people. CM Punk.
Oh, CM
yeah.
Punk. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. That's true. We're thinking too much about Seth, and we got to think more about Corbin. It's Corbin's
it's
ref.
Corbin's choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane has nothing to do.
or
Ooh,
does
Triple
he?
H. I could see that. That might work.
I could see Triple H.
Yeah.
Mm.
That could be good because we've had these like on and off problems with Seth and Triple H. I think it'd be good. We still never have had like the real payoff of it all where Triple H turned on Seth. We had that match, but it seemed not to end. And then they occasionally bring it out and it happens again. I think Seth and Triple H could be good because I don't know. I think if we're going to start doing authority angles and stuff like that, I think there is a really great authority angle that could be brewing.
There's someone I think we're missing. Otherwise, if it's Brock, it's really annoying.
Vince?
It's annoying and obvious because you know he's been having a little bit of a hard time with Seth. So you obviously know that it's going to be like, you know, hey, I'm here and I'm probably going to cash in on you if you lose or not or something.
Yeah.
What about Kurt Angle?
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle? You know, I'm going to say I think it's Brock. I think they do Brock. I think Brock calls it straight down the middle. And I think Brock beats the absolute straight down the middle.
Ow. Help.
And I think he calls it straight down the middle, and I think that he beats the snot out of Seth, and when he's like, you know, everyone thinks
And
he's about
then
to
just
cash
walks
in,
away.
he just walks away. He's like, nah.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday! Friday, Paul, Friday! Paul, Good Friday!
Good Friday.
So I think they're gonna do I think they're gonna do Brock. I don't think he's gonna cash in. You think Brock is cashing in?
Call.
Clump, do you think there's a cash in?
No.
It's tough. I think.
Well, in
I
your
don't
thing,
know.
you said you think that Brock cashes in with
Yeah.
against Rousey.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be a successful cash in. I think if there's a cash in, like I would like it to be a cash in where it just ends in nothing. And
They can't. This would be the third cash in a row that's failed.
Wait,
I'm
what?
not opposed to it because I'm also really annoyed
Who's
with
last
this.
year's? Oh, Braun.
Braun. We had Braun and we had Baron, and then we do Brock. And that's the problem is if you have 3 cash-ins in a row, the Money in the Bank contract then starts to diminish. It starts no longer becoming your cash-in to be a top star, or you're guaranteed. It's almost a guaranteed title.
Yeah.
This starts to become like, yeah, people don't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
What about
I
Sting?
think the build with this would be when if it goes long and Brock cashes, I don't think Brock's gonna win then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna be a successful cash in. I think we're just diminishing it. The women's, and we did have this year a women's Money in the Bank go through, so I think
All of them have
idea
so far.
of it, the briefcase of it is okay. It's just I don't
2 out of 3
I
have
don't see
gone
it being
first.
a good story if Brock wins. That young whippersnapper that got the belt that he is.
Yeah. Do you think Brock cashes in, Dondo?
I actually don't. And even if he does, I don't think it's going to be successful.
I think if it is, it all depends on who the ref is. I think if it's Rousey, like I said, I think he cashes in,
Yeah.
gets Ronda that immediate heat for Becky, and like I said,
If it's Brock, though, if he's the
Yeah.
ref, what do you think?
I think if it's Brock as the ref, I don't think he cashes in.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
don't think he
but
could cash in.
I
either.
also said Sting would be interesting. He
Sting would
ended
be
Seth.
funny.
Seth ended Sting's career.
yeah, murdered him.
Wait, what?
Murdered him.
How?
Murdered him.
Murdered him.
Used a murder weapon.
I don't know. I'm sadly just looking at the card. The most interesting place or spot of it is who's the ref.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. If it's
I'll-
Brock, that's going to be the biggest fucking wind out of your sails moment. It's going to be like this whole obvious bit the whole damn
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I feel like but we might all be working ourselves into a whole tizzy
Yeah.
when it's all like, relax, think about this logically. They're going to do the obvious thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all just hoping like, oh, they could do so much with this. Also, I think fuck Seth Rollins in that stupid, shitty fucking chair.
Earmuffs, like 20 seconds of earmuffs.
Dude, why are you listening?
Keith wants Corbin. He wants Corbin to hold it for a while.
I'm not getting the same chat you're getting. Oh shit, there it is. Why is this on? Well, that's good. So this app failed me. Like I said, guys, I'm learning. So yeah, I not been talking to somebody here. Tapping over Triple H would be an interesting idea. I want Corbin to win so bad. I don't think Brock cashes in. Really see him holding it for a while. I think Corbin would make a great heel champion. Obviously, he wouldn't be a face champion, but I do think that he would make a great evil Universal title holder. And like I was saying before, he'd be the type to hold it in your face. I'm the Universal Champion, not like Seth, who like holds up the chair like this is my everything.
Yeah.
It's like he would actually bring something to that title because he's so self-obsessed that every accomplishment means so much to him that if he had the title, this would be his entire world. So I agree in that aspect. I think that Baron could be amazing at it. I will say we're, I think, about an hour away from kickoff. We're going to let you guys go ahead and check it out. I don't know what's going to be on the kickoff show, but I'm anticipating either the Cruiserweights or the SmackDown Tag titles. Let us know what you think as well. I'm at Ref Marsh on Twitter, at Marsh Ref on Instagram, and we do appreciate you guys tuning in and giving us a shot to talk to you. Dondo, how do you think you did?
I think I did well, honestly, for my first time on a camera.
Yeah, I agree. High fives all around.
First time.
Not to you, Clump. Not to you.
Like you knew my fucking hand was up, dude.
Dude, there's no way. Clump, thanks for tuning in, chiming in, doing you. Next week,
Will be the return of Clump, fatter than ever.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah, next week I will not be on live. But it sounds like I may have a good chance of calling in, so it may be my Memoji in the corner. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy the show. Enjoy all of wrestling, and have a drink. Bottoms up. Last call.
Cheers.